City of New Jersey is thinking about updating an outdated rental law that only allows landlords to raise their rent by $20 a year. I'm Tony, and this is Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. All right, so I'm back on the topic of rent control. Obviously, the cities on the East Coast, they are the absolute worst when it comes to this, okay? A lot of them up in New York, New Jersey, and out in California, they've passed these laws that limit how much landlords can raise the rent every year. Well, the city in this story is one of the absolute worst I've heard of, and they only allow landlords to raise the rent by $20 a year. Doesn't matter what the rent is, they can only raise it by $20. So obviously landlords are unable to, even deal with all of this inflation that's been going on. They can't pay their bills. They are getting demolished. And the city thought, oh, well, maybe we should change this. This seems a little bit outdated. And of course, the tenants are coming out, no, we can't afford more than a $20 a year increase. Yeah, okay, well, these tenants, like I said before, they will fight because they don't want landlords to have any increase. They actually want the landlords to decrease rents. They are living in fantasy land, okay? And that's why I say we have to get rid of these laws. We do. Otherwise, the rental housing stock is going to become just deteriorated to the point where it's not even livable. So, nobody wants that. It's bad for the tenants. It's bad for the landlords. It's bad for the communities where these properties are located too, okay? What do you think it's like when you go down the street and there's nothing but blight and disrepair everywhere? I mean, it brings the whole area down. So what we need to do is get rid of these rent control laws, allow landlords to operate within the free market. Not only that, but also take away these ridiculous restrictions that limit where and how landlords can build new properties, because that's what we really need. In order to bring prices down, they need to develop and build new property. Okay, there needs to be more units. Trying to shuffle around and stop rent raises on the existing number of units when there haven't been any new units added in a long time, that's just not going to work. So before I get into the article, go ahead, hit the like, subscribe button, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think, okay? What do you think of this $20 a year rent increase that this city has? Do you think that's enough to cover their expenses? Have you heard of any less allowed? I think I did an article just a short while ago about a city that actually had passed a rent control law that would cut rents. Okay, but I'm not sure. I think that was in New York, but I'm not sure if that has passed yet or what's going on with that. I'll have to do a little bit more research and bring an update to that article. So anyway, let's get into it. This article is coming from NewJersey.com, and it says, New Jersey City considering lifting outdated $20 cap on rent hikes. I would be more supportive of this if they were just getting rid of the cap altogether, right? But they're getting rid of the $20 cap and they're imposing another cap that still just basically, cripples the landlords, makes it so they can't do their business. So let's get into the article and see what it says. Elizabeth's city council is scheduled to vote this week on changing the city rent control policy, which currently includes a $20 cap on annual rent increases. Residents organized rallies over the last month demanding the city council keep the tenant protections in place to hold down rents in New Jersey's fourth largest city. Elizabeth's current rent control policy says landlords cannot raise rents each year more than 3% or $20, whichever is lower. City council members are expected to vote Tuesday on whether to remove the $20 cap. So basically, they have a rule that says, well, you can raise your rent either by 3%, right, or $20. The problem is, right, that, it has to be the lower of the two. So it's always going to be $20. It really doesn't make much sense, because when you think about what rents cost throughout, even a place like New Jersey, let's say the rent is $1,000 a month. So a 3% rent increase would be $30 right there. So you would already be forced to only be able to raise your rent by $20. But is $30 actually going to cover the landlord's expenses? That's the real question. Is $20, are any of these even keeping pace with inflation? I know about my properties here in Nebraska, and I imagine landlords in New Jersey face even worse inflation, okay? The cost of utilities has increased. The cost of insurance has increased. The property taxes. Let's talk about New Jersey property taxes, okay? It is well known New Jersey has the highest property taxes in the entire country. Okay, they have horrible property taxes there. And do you think that the local municipality said, well, we're only allowing landlords to increase their rents by $20 a month, so we're not going to raise their property taxes? You think they said that? Heck no, they did not say that, okay? They are so full of garbage. They talk out of both sides of their mouth. Okay, we're going to increase your property taxes, but we're going to give you no way to make up for that loss of income or that increased expense. See, that's what these governments do. They think that somehow we have this magic pool of money that, just appears from nowhere. No, they are stupid. They have no clue about economics, and they are basically bankrupting landlords with their stupid laws. It could be incredibly dire, said Gerardo Benavidez of Make the Road Action New Jersey, an advocacy group for immigrants. Screw that. I'm not even reading this part from these advocacy groups, okay? They think, oh, well, it's not fair if we raise the rent more than... Shut up, okay? That is such garbage. Inflation in the last year was like 8%, and $20 isn't even close. Not even close. Okay, let's imagine the rents are even higher than $1,000 a month. Let's say you have a place that's renting for $3,000 a month. Well, a $20 increase is a less than 1% rent increase. Less than 1%. And that's what a landlord is limited to. So, yeah, this is a joke. They shouldn't have any cap, in my opinion, but the $20 cap is especially insulting, and they need to get rid of it. But these politicians, they are bound and obligated to these ridiculous tenant right groups that have no clue about the economy. These tenants can afford it. They can, okay? If you know anything, you know that, hey, wages have gone up in the last year. Okay, they actually have gone up. Unemployment has gone down. People can afford the increase better than they could have before. Yet you're telling them, well, they're coming out and saying, no, we can't afford that. That $20 a month is too much. Well, give up the burgers, give up the fries, okay? Stop going out to McDonald's. I'm hitting you there because this is garbage, okay? And I feel for these landlords out in New Jersey who have to deal with this stuff. Elizabeth Councilman Manny Grova Jr. said he believes the majority of the 9-member council will vote to remove the $20 limit. However, the council plans to keep other rent control measures in place that would forbid most landlords from raising rent more than 3% a year. The majority feel that the cap of $20 is outdated, Grova said. Elizabeth is among several New Jersey cities that have recently considered changes to rent control laws. In Perth Amboy, the city adopted the new rule in October that lowered the ceiling for rent increases. Instead of the previous policy that allowed rent hikes of up to 5%, Perth Amboy tenants will only see a maximum increase of 3% in rent at the end of their leases, or a maximum of 2.5% if they also pay their unit's water bill, officials said. So yeah, there's some cities in New Jersey that are cutting the increase. You have to ask them, well, did you not see all the news about the increase in costs? Do you think landlords don't face any increased cost? Why do you think that suddenly now landlords aren't affected by inflation? Why do you think that landlords don't need to increase their rents when the cost of everything for everyone else has gone up? Okay? No, you're doing this. It's a measure to get votes. It's a measure because these people are so anti-landlord, anti-property right, and pro-socialism that they cannot understand or they don't care about basic economics. So, yeah, this is garbage, this whole article, them taking away the $20 cap, it's meaningless because it doesn't allow landlords to be able to raise their rents in order to cover their expenses, and they are still stuck in a dire situation.